Hi guys, this is Sai Kumar Kurtivada. In this video, we will learn how to test our add address functionality of an address management system. To know about our address management system and how we have implemented our Angular code, please watch my Angular tutorial videos. I'll provide the link in the description. Let me quickly jump into Visual Studio Code. So here I have created app.component.html ts and already our code has been executing inside this app.component.html related to address management system. Let me show you a demo. Let me quickly jump into browser. So here already we have the default values, that is all these values has been pre-filled by using a patch value. I have tested this in my previous video. Please watch that before continuing this. And now when the user clicks on add address, so we are adding one address with 4 fields. That means 4 extra fields. This is a new form group. And whenever these are added, these are invalid data because these are not filled yet. So that is the reason we are disabling the submit button. Now this is a manual type of testing. Now we'll do the same stuff in unit testing. I'll try to get this button, and when the user clicks on button, these fields will be added and this button will be disabled. Let me go to the Visual Studio Code, and now let's search for the add address. So here we have an add address. Let me add an ID. ID is equal to address ID, or make it readable, add address ID. And now let me go to the spec file. Let me create it, and inside this it let me write test colon add address checks, and it will have a callback function. Inside the callback function you will be getting that fixture dot debug or detect changes, and once the detection is done, that means when it is stable, then what we need to do, we need to get a callback function, and inside this callback function first I'll try to get this button. So what is my button? Add address ID. Let me get that button. Const add button colon html button element is equal to fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector of what is my ID, it's hash add address ID. And now we bought that button. Once the button is clicked, we are calling add address method. So where is this add address method? It is already existing in my TS file. Let me go to the spec file and let me create a spy-on function for that. Add address spy is equal to spy-on of I component instance, comma, what is this? Add address. That means the method name. The method name is add address. Let me copy this and paste here. And whenever the user clicks on this, I want to call this. So there is a utility that is nothing but a call through. I have explained about event handler testing in the same series. Please watch before continuing for better understanding. Let me go here, and when the user clicks on the button, let me get the button dot click. There is an event on this button called as click, and when the user clicks on this, what is my expectation is my spy on function should call at least one time. That means to have been called times of one. And let me go to the HTML, save this spec file, save this. Now it has been successfully passed. And when the user clicks on the button, what is happening to the UI? The UI will be adding one more fields. Like clicking on this, it will add 4 fields, that is a new form group into our form array. So this one we need to test it. That means already we have 2 plus 4 6, 6 plus 4 10, 10 elements already existing. When the user clicks on add address, 4 more elements has to be added. So now in this case what it will do, let me check fixture dot detect changes. Why? Because there is a change happened in my TS that is not known to the HTML. So we are telling the HTML to detect the changes once again and make it stable. Whenever it is stable, then I'll have a callback function. Inside this callback function, we have to check all the input elements. That means already we have 10 input elements, and now we have added 4 more elements. So our elements length should be equal to 14. That means we should have 14 input elements. Const input elements colon HTML input elements array is equal to fixture dot debug elements dot native element dot query selector all of what is the type for this input type. So you will be getting the input type, and what is our expectation is input elements dot length should be equal to 2 equal of 14. Save this and check here. It has been successfully passed. Now we have tested this one, but now we need to test about the submit button. So submit button should be disabled. Let me give an ID for that submit button. Let me go to the submit button and provide some ID. ID is equal to submit ID. Save this and let me copy this ID. Let me get this button. So const button submit colon HTML button element is equal to fixture dot debug element dot native element dot query selector of an ID. What is my ID? It's hash, and we got the ID expect of button submit dot disabled. There is a functionality called as disabled, and it should be equal to true. That means to be truthy. And let me save this. Because our input fields has not been valid, so this button will be in disabled state and it has been passed successfully. So we have tested how to add our address, and whenever we are adding the address, what are the different things which are happening to our HTML. We have tested it. We'll be testing about remove address functionality in my upcoming video. Hope you like my explanation. If you like my video, like, share, subscribe to my channel for more updates. Signing off. Thank you.